I mean, you know what you're doing. I feel like.
No, I don't know at all what I'm doing.
Really?
In general, no. I say that like in like my whole life has gotten better when I claim I don't know anything.
Are you ready to get addicted?
My name is Lindsay Ann, and you are listening to Addicted the Podcast. Are you ready to get addicted?
You ready?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm always ready.
You're born ready?
No, definitely not.
All right, so today we have Brandon coming on from Pink 7. He is the co-founder and co-CEO of this great brand that we're going to talk to and dive into and get to know a little bit about who Brandon is and what his life is like. So hi, Brandon. Thanks for being on here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I'm
of
stoked.
course. I'm so excited. So we're going to start like background. You know, where did you come from? Who are you? What made you get into sobriety? You know, think like you're talking at a meeting. But
Give you the four.
give us the full background.
Okay.
Get raw with us.
That's good. That's how I like it. Yeah. So originally from Northern California, like outside San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
My parents got divorced when I was young. They had me and my brother, and they both remarried and had 3 kids each. So I grew up the oldest of 8.
Oh wow.
Yeah, you know, I'd be quite the role model until I wasn't. But
Yeah.
but yeah, that's what so what's so amazing about life today, because I get to be that person. But so yeah, I grew up going between 2 households. Was actually pretty like on point. Am I looking at the?
You can look wherever you want.
All right, good. I'm like, didn't know if I'm looking with you the whole time. I just want to make sure I'm doing this.
Whatever, it just flows how it flows.
So yeah, grew up like with a good like routine, and like my life was pretty good. Like I took school seriously. I had goals. I stuck to them. Did good in high school. Went to college, and drank, but like drank socially, like you know, didn't go crazy. Always made sure I was able to like take care of the important shit, which was at that time it was getting good grades, and like what I thought was what I was supposed to do. It was like get good grades, and so you get a good job, and then life is gonna be great. You'll meet a woman, you'll get married. But so that's the way I was living my life then. And then like, yeah, when I drank for the first few times in high school, I loved it. I associated like drinking was when I get to have fun. So when I would hang out with girls, when I hang out with my buddies and like laugh and all that stuff. So I'd do the schoolwork and do tests and all that to get to the weekend. Like that's what it was. Then yeah, after high school, I went to college. I actually went to San Diego State here for 2 years, and then I transferred to USC in LA, studied business, like, and still was able to like maintain like good grades and like do that whole dog and pony show, you know. And then I got a job back in Northern California in Silicon Valley, like working in tech. And like ever since I was younger, though, I'd always battled with this feeling less than, you know. I'm like always looking around, and why am I not supposed to be here? Like, why do I not deserve this? As opposed to being like, dude, you're fucking killing it. Like, good job.
Right.
So like showing up there and like having and working hard, and like work was going well and doing all these things, but still looking around going like, I'm uncomfortable. Or like, I'm not supposed to be there. People are looking at me like, why the fuck does this kid have this job? So then I started, you know, I got introduced to like pills, like Xanax, Vicodin, and like at first I treated like the cocktail like after work, you know. I was like, let me get off work and I'll pop, you know, take a Xanax, or, you know, like instead of a beer, I went home and snorted an oxy, like,
just
and
normal, right?
I thought that was normal, and yeah, like I was able to maintain that for a little bit until like I was like, well, shit, this feels great. I'm uncomfortable at work. Let me try this at work, and then like it made work amazing. And yeah, that went well until like it completely took over. And, you know, fortunately was able to make that like my first job out of college like last until like 4 years in, and then I got let go obviously, and that was like my first sent to rehab for the first time. Like, dude, you obviously fucked this like great opportunity up. Drugs become for everything, and go do that.
And how old were you at that point?
I was 26.
26. Okay.
So yeah, 4 years out of college. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, I was like, I just went there to like, because I thought you could go there and just by going to rehab for 30 days, you get better.
Yeah, 100%.
And of course I met a girl in there, who, I don't know. It's like, I always say like how ridiculous that is, but like, I mean, I did it. Of course, I'm one of those folks. And yeah, it was funny. She got there later than me. We met, then I got out of the rehab and went home, and like within like 24 hours, I was already back to my, using again.
Right.
And she called me and she's like, "Hey, I'm done. Like, I'm out, or I can get out now. Can you come pick me up?" So like I went and picked her up. It was only like 2 hours from where I was living at the time. And then like in my car, like as we're leaving, her mom's calling her, and the rehab center's calling her. Like, she wasn't actually supposed to leave.
Oh god.
So like that just put me right back into a life of chaos. We got a hotel.
Right.
And then like, before the cops are showing up there, and I'm like, dude, all I did was pick this girl up.
Yeah.
And then, I went back to work again after that rehab. But obviously I wasn't clean and wasn't sober. And then I went to another job where I worked for like a year, and then got let go, went to rehab again. And that time like kind of sent me on my journey from like Northern California to Los Angeles.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, I'm changing scenery. Went to rehab in Malibu, like had friends from college. I'm like, oh, it's all going to be great.
Yeah.
Got locked into like a 90-day program there, and went to sober living, like did that whole thing. And like life was like, it was great. Obviously it was going to be great. Like I was under accountability. Like I was in sober living in the treatment center for 90 days. And then, yeah, it was just a matter of time. And then one moment I got my own place in Santa Monica, I was out using again. Like I just wasn't dealing with any of these like inner issues I had or fears. Like I just had no practice of like dealing with adversity, without some sort of substance. And so, yeah. And then that was like back to the whole crazy cycle. And then fortunately, like I went back and forth of like on and off of using, like dry, like miserable. And then ended up here in San Diego at Casa Palmera and Del Mar, like with no intention of staying. I was like, went there because like I was at, just ended up in hotel rooms, like really just wanting to kill myself, but too scared. Like I was too big of a pussy.
Right.
Like bottom line, that's what it was.
Right.
And then, but I was like, what, let me try something different. Instead of like every first thought or thing I want to do, instead of doing that, let me like consult with somebody, or let me talk to people that are like, whose lives I actually have gotten better and have what I want. And then what do they say? And then that kind of got me in this North County, San Diego, and like starting this whole life in sobriety that's gotten so much better than the craziness. That was like a long-winded answer, but that's how I got here.
I mean, it's great. For some reason, I thought that this was like your first try at sobriety. I don't think I did hear you lead one time, but I think I was blacked out drunk, so I didn't retain any information from that. But sobriety is a hard thing to try, and I think it takes a lot of courage to try it one time, 2 times. I think the longer you're trying it, the more courage and more willingness that you gain. And that just kind of shows how you've really implemented yourself into this North County, which is kind of where we're going to go into, and like where we're driving the boat. But first I want to go back to, so you have 8, so you're the oldest of 8.
Yeah, oldest of 8.
So how many brothers, how many sisters?
So it's funny how it worked out. So it was me and my brother by my mom and dad.
Okay.
And then they both remarried, and they had 2 boys. Like my dad and my stepmom had 2 boys and then a girl. So it's like she's the youngest out of all the boys.
Okay.
And my mom had 2 boys and then a girl, so she's the youngest out of all us boys. So
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my, that's a lot of kids. So what's it like with family holidays and family stuff?
well, now it's great, like,
Yeah.
because like now I'm somebody that shows up and like being sober. But like for a while, it was, I mean, I knew deep down like I was living this life of chaos. Like I was being dishonest. I was scaring like, my entire family. Like even I remember my dad was telling me my sister had wrote this poem like in her high school class, like saying how afraid I was gonna die and all this stuff. And I remember hearing it then and being like, okay, like I'm okay. So like I'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But now it's like I look back at those things. I hear that now in like this clear mind, and I'm like, wow, I'm so appreciative and grateful. Like, and anytime I'm with the family and stuff, it's like, wow, like this is amazing.
Right.
Before it was chaos when I'm deep down, it's like, how do you feel good in a room when you're not being your best self? You're not living like a pure like life by morals.
Yeah. Exactly.
So
do you think that divorce and everything played into your drinking, drugging that came to, or do you think it's a completely different problem that stemmed from something else?
I mean, I think when I was in my alcoholism and like drinking and stuff and using, it was easy for me to blame something else. But when I look back at it all, like anything bad I have to say about a family dynamic, my stepmom or my stepdad, it's really just stems from like my insecurities and fears and like these stories I created in my head.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, I'm great. Like they did a great job. I don't really, in my experience, divorce had no play in it. It was just more, it was easy to make as an excuse for a little bit, but no, not at all. Well,
you continue to surround yourself with great people. And with that, you have created a band of I don't want to say followers, but like we have a huge community being built over in North County with this little thing called Pink 7. I mean, tell us about it. Like, where did it stem from? I know it stemmed from NoCo, right? And that was, tell them what that was, and then go ahead and lead into Pink 7 and how that has become so big and how you've gotten there. I know you've worked so hard and you have like a staff now. And so just tell us all about it.
Yeah. So I guess it will start like just with, I don't know, when I got sober, when I first got sober, everything I did before that, like I did fucked up. Like I thought I had to be, no matter what it was, like it was going to a restaurant, it was playing some sort of sport, it was going to the beach, everything. Like I thought I would have to be fucked up. So there's this huge fear that was in me about like going and doing things sober.
Yeah.
And fortunately, like a gift, early in my sobriety, I met my partner, Joe, who had started NoCo. And at that time that was like dying down, not really happening. And he was just like, come check this out. Like go participate and have fun in sobriety. And so I went to the beach and like started showing up to this volleyball event and started to say, wow, dude, you can have fun in sobriety.
Yeah.
And he started working more and he's like, hey dude, this is like whatever, do whatever you want with it. So I was like, okay, cool. Like, and at first it was like what am I gonna, like at first it was like, well, what can I really do with this? Like nothing. But then I started to see, I was like, well, this changed. Like I can say like there's other aspects of my program in my life that help make my life so great today and like help my sobriety. But I'll tell you, I couldn't tell you for sure if I would still be sober today, or at least be sober and as happy as I am, if I didn't throw myself out there and build a community around like having fun in sobriety.
Right.
Because it's like I heard sober before and it was like, that's a stigma, or like, oh, that's a bad thing associated with it.
Right.
And now it's like, dude, our mission is like, sober's fucking cool. Like we make sober look cool. And
you do indeed. It's not boring.
And like we want to empower people like to feel proud about being sober and then like inspire connection.
Right.
It's like I went out there, I started to make friends, and it gave me permission to go have fun in social situations without alcohol or drugs.
Yeah.
So, I was like, well, let's see, like, whatever. I was passionate about the actual experience. So I just kind of kept doing this one weekly thing. And I was like, I'm loving this. Like, I made the commitment for my first year Friday I wasn't going to work. So I was like, this will start to become my job or my responsibility right now.
That's nice.
It was great. But yeah, it was, I took it seriously. And it's like, and that's why I think like there's a plan and I'm so grateful because something that's my passion is now turned into my career.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lucky for that.
But so I was like, okay, well, let's like rebrand this and not let it just focus on one area.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it? It's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
So like throwing ideas around and stuff. And I remember texting you when I was throwing the rebranding barbecue, and
I gave you so much.
You're like, I'm a marketing professional. This is a terrible idea. Do not change it. But it was crazy how it happened. I was like, with a mentor of mine, and like we were going over, I was like thinking of potential names, and he was like, we read, and he's like, why don't you read this chat or this story, and I bet you'll find something. Like this literally happened. Like it's crazy. Like something will stick out. So like reading, and it's like it mentions Pink 7, and I'm like, I don't know, like I love the color pink, and I love the number 7.
Okay.
So that's like first, but that's not nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, like I'm intrigued now.
Mm-hmm.
And like this is like following this little exercise of just trying to come up with names prior. Right. So I'm like, okay, like this is interesting.
Right.
So I look it up, and then really what it is, it's like it's it's the highest form of a pink cloud. It's pink cloud in seventh heaven. Mm-hmm. And it means like true happiness. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what like perfect thing to call. At that time, we weren't really sure what we were going to do with it. Like, it was an experience. Like, we're just going to continue to put on a platform where people can come and like a safe place where they can come and meet other people, and have fun and without drugs and alcohol. Mm-hmm. So we went with it and like started. So then it's like, okay, what else can we do? So then we started adding things. We did more like, we'll do like a more custom or like one-off social event monthly. We added breath work. We added like workout classes. We started to promote the pickleball again, and then yoga was still happening. And then, it's like, it's cool. Before I was like, well, is this even that? What is this? Or like, is this anything? Because, I'm already hard on myself as it is. And like, I just didn't know. Like,
and I'm sorry for feeding into that.
No, you're good. You're good. It's it's funny. It's funny to laugh at now because you weren't the only one. There were some people that are like, what the fuck, dude? But now it's like, it's cool. It fits. It works.
It fits, yeah.
And yeah, it's like, and what made me like, was hearing things like, hey dude, I look forward to this all week. Or like, I look forward to coming to this. Cause I didn't know that and I wouldn't expect that. Yeah. But when I hear people say that, it's like, okay, then like, why not? This was my experience, like by being able to participate in this. Mm-hmm. So why not make sure it lives on and it continues? Yeah. So yeah, that's like
No, I think it's great. I mean, I think, as your brand has progressed and there's been more explanation behind the name. At first, I definitely was a skeptic. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I love giving people a hard time and don't know why I do that. But it's not fair to do at all. No. But I mean, I really watched it take off, and explode. And I think that's so incredible and inspiring. Like what you've done with your merch and what you've done with your photo shoots and your website's incredible and your social media page is very well done, So it's just a wide scope of good branding, Yeah. And you started it alone, but you're clearly not doing it alone.
Yeah,
right?
And I can't take credit. I can't take credit for any of that stuff now. I feel like there's so many people that have helped me and that are helping me now, helping us. Mm-hmm. And that's why, like, I would say, like, I have to say this talking about it. It's like so many times you want to be like, well, find all the reasons why not to pursue it. Or like, I'm not like, I'll take all the doubts and like no matter what, I'll try to make them outweigh like the
Right.
positives. And all I've done is like, or we've done is like keep going and keep doing it. And like all these opportunities come about. So now, yeah, we have a, there's a lot. So I'll go over it all.
Okay.
But first, like what started is that, you know, as we're doing this, people that I look up to that have experience building companies or creating brands, like pulled me aside and were like, hey dude, like you have something here. Like, and it's like, but we talk and it's like, we don't know what yet, but just like keep doing what you're doing and see what happens. And like, that's kind of what that's what's been going on. Like not putting expectations on anything or not making it about like money or anything, just the mission, and like keep doing that. And then all these opportunities start to come. So then we were able to bring on Brooke, who is doing our social marketing, social media and marketing. And then we have Madison, who's like, we call her like our COO, who handles like partnerships and stuff, which is like, and by partnerships, it's like all the non-alcoholic drink companies or other sober brands. And because we want to use them and we want to collaborate and create. Yeah. Like, it's like there's a fun, active stuff, but people want to be able to go and have fun somewhere. Yeah. Like, how can we bring that like bar experience or social experience? So like we're working on that. And in this, it's like people were interested and they're like, hey, you have this, like we want to be involved. So we're able to raise money recently. That's allowed us to bring on these people, because everyone's like, well, how much merch are you selling? And like, your events are free. Like, so
it was going to be a question. Like, are you making money on this?
No, but, and yeah, I'll talk more to that. But then now we have, because we look at it like it's clothing, it's apparel, and it's events. And then it's like content, whatever's going to make sober cool, like help people see sober as and give that a status, and as it's a way to like it's a way to maximize your potential. Like, how do we share this? And so Madison, who we brought on, this is so interesting. So like I got sober because I'm alcoholic and like I can't stop drinking when I have my first drink. But there's also, and this is crazy, there's actually people out there who decide to stop drinking just because it's bad for them or they want to be their best person.
That's cool.
I know. And like, so we brought her on because if you look at the numbers, like this is crazy, but 40% of Americans over 18 do not drink. Yeah. Or yeah, it's pretty wild. That's like a Gallup statistic.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's alcoholics.
So you take like, and only 2 million globally, by Stanford did this study, 2 million are in AA. Okay. So it's like, you start to look at the numbers and you're like, okay, well, 40% of Americans, that's like over 100 million people. 2% are 2 million are only in AA. That's like less than 2%. So what are all these other people that aren't drinking? Like, what are they doing? And are they scared? Do we not know because they're scared to represent it? Or is there nothing out there that like gives them the ability to show that they're proud of it? Or like that they're living that life? Yeah. So Madison's like someone who fits into that category, who's the majority. So now it's like a lot of people get to start to relate to her and like that audience. And then we have Luke, who's like doing our videography now.
Love Luke.
And then we have Joe, who's kind of like the silent in the background, because he's, you know, he was originally founder of NoCo, so we're partners on this. Yeah. And then we have Bradley, who's like helps out with biz dev and just events and stuff. Like we want to start, like I said, expanding into events that are like more social and like larger. Like it'd be freaking awesome to, hey, we're gonna throw 1,000-person event with a sick performer who's sober. Yeah. And it's sponsored by all these, you know, there's so many non-alcoholic drink companies out there. It's like this is such a movement. So it's all exciting.
It's cool. That's so exciting. I'll give you some names of some places over here that you should reach out to that
Oh, yeah,
are
that'd be
big
great.
and that throw things over. And
Yeah.
South County, I don't know what this
Yeah.
is. I don't know what PB is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really expanded. So back to my pressing question: are you making money off this yet?
Right now, no, we're not. We were making like, small amounts, but
Do you pay your staff?
the staff is getting paid.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, at least you're
Yeah.
getting somehow enough to
Yeah.
pay
Yeah.
them.
We are.
Because I was like, it's incredible that this many people are really, working for free.
Yeah.
It's hard to start a business. Like,
It
everything's
is.
going out. There's nothing
Oh, yeah.
coming in for a long time.
No, totally. And I don't know, I feel like we continue to show up and like stay in action, like doing hard work,
Mhm.
but also like for the cause. Think about it. If our brand wins, like so does society. Like more people are sober. Kids are like wearing sober stuff to like represent their sobriety, and like not gonna, the parents don't have to worry about them going to a party and like trying a pill for the first time and dying.
Yeah.
So I like to do this. So this is a good way to put it. So
Okay.
name an athleisure brand.
Vuori.
Okay. Name like an athletic sports brand.
Lululemon.
Okay.
Nike?
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
Yeah,
Nike?
that works.
Okay.
Name a sober brand.
Pink 7.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So.
No, you definitely have something. You're definitely going somewhere. I can see it. We have him here first. Don't forget about us when you're on Oprah.
Oh,
I don't know if Oprah still exists. I'm not quite sure.
She does, yeah.
She does?
I think so.
Okay, cool. So I can also see you're wearing an Aura ring. You got an Aura ring on over here.
Oh yeah.
Do you like those?
I do, yeah. So like on the theme of this whole conversations, like we get sober and like we start to be able to do cool shit. Like I do before. Now I do yoga, I run, I surf, I play volleyball.
Wow.
So yeah, and then I care about my health and like my active, and like this is just something that kind of keeps me reminded.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trendy. Sometimes I get influenced by what's popular. What's the next hot thing? So,
Yeah.
Or a plug.
Or a plug. No longer Apple Watches. Apparently, those are out.
No.
I was
yeah.
wearing. I saw no one wearing those anymore.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, apparently, I'm behind the trends now.
Yeah.
I'm grown up. Too old for that. Well, I think you've covered it all. I think it's been great sitting down with you, and I can't wait to see where you take Pink 7 and how it continues to grow. And want to plug your Instagram, Pink 7, want to give a discount code. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
Give them something.
Instagram is @Pink7Official, and DM us and refer Addicted the Podcast, and you'll get a 30% discount code.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
This has been fun. Thanks for listening, guys. Tune in again next week for more on Addicted the Podcast. Thank you.
Later.